Wow, what a crazy time to be a part of this retail furniture industry. Our customers keep telling us that the most challenging, the most difficult thing they've got to do right now, besides keeping product in stock, is to let their customers know that the product isn't in stock, to let their customers know that the delays for delivery are going to be days, weeks, and maybe even months. So let's talk about those awkward phone calls you've got to make. And let's also talk about some things you can do to manage your customers' expectations. Let's set things up so that they don't ever become frustrated and angry and that you lose their sales. After all, unhappy customers tell the world what you've done wrong and why they hate you. So let's make sure you manage the expectations. Let's make sure you're in control of the things that you can be in control of. We'll talk about the phone call in just a second. Let's start by talking about some things you can do to manage your customer expectations at the point of sale. There are 3 things that I want you to think about doing. First, set up expectations. Second, apologize for the inevitable wait. And third, establish regular contact. So first, let's set up an expectation. Do everything you can, all the research you can, to really know when will this product arrive. But I want you to keep this counsel in your mind. Under promise, over deliver. That counsel was made for today. Under promise, over deliver. So if you discover that the product is going to arrive in, let's say, 12 weeks, set an expectation for 14 weeks. Imagine how excited the customers are going to be when you call back and you say, hey, the product is here early. Much better than having to call and let her know the product is going to be late. Just don't make a promise that you can't keep. So now that you've set the expectation of delivery, this is your chance to apologize for the wait. Let the customer know that you're aware that it's going to be uncomfortable. Let her know that you feel her pain. But make sure that you take just a moment and apologize for the inevitable wait. So you might remind your customer that there are 3 factors that play into this delay. Obviously, the freeze that occurred in Texas, that stopped all the foam from being able to be produced. Second, we had the container ship in the Suez Canal. And even when they finally got that thing out of there, boy, the backlog of other ships that were waiting to come in was just horrendous. And third, we have COVID-19. This affected not only us here in the States, but across the world. So folks who are making fabrics or milling wood, people across the globe were out of work, couldn't come to work, and so we've just got a terrible backlog of all the products that go into the furniture. So make sure your customer recognizes that those 3 factors are really outside of your control. And finally, establish a channel for regular contact. Ask your customer, how often would you like to hear from me? You might have a few that say weekly, you might have some that say monthly. But set this sort of schedule so that your customers know that they can count on you to share business information. Some of it's good, some of it's not so good, but make sure they know that you're going to reach out. A customer that has to reach out to you to find out what's going on is an unhappy customer. They're already frustrated. They're already angry. Don't ever make them have to call you. Make sure that you call in advance. These are preemptive phone calls, and they're extremely important in this process. Okay, one more thing before we get to the phone call. I want you to do everything you can to lessen the pain your customers are going through. Consider this. What would happen if maybe you held a barbecue in the parking lot of your store? Maybe you rented out a local theater or the water park or a bowling alley. You somehow reached out to your folks, got them together, spent a little bit of time, a little bit of your resources with them so they know that you care about them, that you're thinking about them. They just really want to make sure that you haven't forgotten about them. And any kind of activity that you can do to extend yourself and to touch them will help them to feel that you're part of their family, they're part of your family, and you care about them. In addition, think of the goodwill that'll come as you reach out to members of your community like this. Okay, now the phone call. Again, these are preemptive phone calls. And if you've been doing it right, these phone calls are really about reassuring the customer that they have not been forgotten, that they are still top of mind for you. They need to know that you are reaching out to your manufacturers and checking on dates. They just want to know that again, that they haven't been forgotten, that they're going to eventually see the furniture that they bought from you and that you promised to them. You might just promise to, continue on the schedule that you've already established. You might establish a new schedule. Whatever's going to work for your customer, ask them, how often would you like to hear from me? Again, these are frustrating, strange times to be a part of the furniture industry. It doesn't matter if you're a manufacturer, whether you're the owner of the store, a salesperson, or even the customer. These are difficult times. Let's treat our customers the way we want to be treated. The more you do that, the more your service is going to become a true asset for your company.